sure enough, we go away to Hillsborough Steve. Royal Hoops, who's the man in the little box to my right. And
Hello.
Dan Wimbish as well. I should introduce myself as well. We've won it, Steve. How have we done it?
I don't know. I think you can thank Ali al-habsi for some standard heroics from him. It seems like with every passing week, he's the one that's going to get Player of the Season because he is keeping us in games repeatedly at the moment. Yeah, and just taking our chances. I don't know how that happened. You know, you read and listen to commentary, and Sheffield Wednesday seem to be totally on top of us, and yet we've come away with a clean sheet and 2 goals.
It is.
How'd that happen?
I don't know. I tweeted after the game. He was a brick wall. They just couldn't get past him all night, pulling off says. I mean, you can see the match stats on the side of the screen. Sheffield Wednesday, 17 shots, 7 of them on target. Reading, 9 shots, 3 of them on target, 2 of them goals. A fantastic opener as well from Jan Kermigan, who's just shown that little bit of class when he needed the most and that little bit of experience getting Reading over the line.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a really complicated thing, you know, because he was falling over when he shot, and for it to go into the bottom corner like that was a great finish, especially with his left foot, wasn't it? That's not his strong one either. So yeah, really good finish from him there. Little moment of class, gave us the lead, gave us something to sit on and just build possession around. So
as you get a text
really
message, your phone's clearly pinging. Off all the fellow Reading fans. I mean, the reaction on Facebook has been the reaction on Twitter has just been remarkable. I mean, so much praise for Ali al-habsi, and it's nice to see these more experienced players, like you say, like Kermigan, like al-habsi, stepping up when it's needed. We talked a lot this season about the impacts of people like John Swift, Liam Moore. But it's the old, experienced, wise heads that get Reading over the line. But I have to ask the question, was this Reading being good, or do you think this was a case of Sheffield Wednesday maybe not being at their best?
Yeah, I don't know. It's probably a case of Sheffield Wednesday not being at their best and Reading doing what they've done all season, in that they're a bit of a statistical anomaly. You know, you look at the stats throughout the season and they don't look like they should be fifth, fourth, wherever they are in the table now. They don't look like they should be there if you look at the stats, but here they are. You look at the stats for this game, they've come away with a 2-0 lead, a win. And, I don't know how they're doing it, but it just looks like they're taking their chances. They're repelling what shots they're facing, which at the moment is quite a lot, and they're getting results. How is that happening? I don't know. You'll have to ask.
It is bizarre. I'm looking here at the Who Scored ratings, whoscored.com. They do it largely on stats. As far as Reading go, I mean, the standout man is Ali al-habsi, who's got a rather incredible 8.9. Not something you see all the time. Jan with an 8.2, helped obviously by that goal. John Swift, 7.5. Danny Williams, 6.8. But another man, again, senior figures, Joey Vandenberg, 7.9. He had another fantastic game. He just seems to blow so hot and cold though, Steve. But when he's on, he's fantastic.
Yeah, he really is. Is one of those you don't know why it happens. Is it that he steps up when there's pressure? Is it just he's in the mood? I don't know when it happens, but when he's on form, it looks like Reading are on form. So we just need him to be more consistent over a long period of games rather than blowing hot and cold. And you never know which one's going to turn up.
Absolutely not. And realistically, you look at all the games some of the games that we've won this season, they've come down to those key moments. We've said it the whole year long now. Reading aren't a team that dominate games, but they get those moments. And whether it was Ali al-habsi making those saves, whether it was Kermigan finishing with such class, they've done it again. The people chipping in on Facebook at the moment saying, Neil Luff saying he would have been more than happy with the draw tonight. Thomas Blick saying a goalkeeper winning player of the season usually means we've had a bad season. Not this year. And Daniel Hughes says, clean sheet with Blackett, I'm going to faint.
Hey, he probably had a good. Well, I don't know. I wasn't there, but he might have had a good performance. You don't know.
He was okay. He was okay. He got himself in the book bit early on, but otherwise not too bad at all. Jordan Abita also picking up a booking as well for Reading on the night. But it was just, this was exactly the type of performance they needed away from home. We've been wondering all season, have they got the stomach to take on the best in the league away from home? They've got pounded. We talked about it pre-match. They've been pounded at Brighton, pounded at Preston, lost at Huddersfield, got pounded at Newcastle. This was a real message, especially if we are going to go into those playoffs, that Reading are not just going to be relying on the home game at the Medeski, that they can go away from home and actually pull off a performance like this.
Yeah, and they're going to need to put off more performances like this if they're going to go into the playoffs in any kind of form or have any momentum. You know, they're going to have to pull a few of these out of the bag. We did our predictions a few weeks ago, and I was like, oh, it's all right, Reading will lose a couple of games and then they'll win the rest. And at the moment, it's looking like they might have to, you know, pull the finger out and go a bit, dig in a bit like they did today.
Yeah,
but
I don't think you're doing too badly in that predictions at the moment. I don't think so. Let's have a quick look. I'll dig that up for you while we talk about it. But
looking at the average positions a minute ago, and it was, you know, you look on paper, it looks like it's a 4-3-3, but it looked a bit like Vandenberg was dropping back, so it was a bit more like a 5-back. So it just shows how flexible this team are as well. You know, they can morph between 4-3-3 and 5-3-2, whatever. You know, so that might.
I was going to say, none of the 6 people from our editorial team had Reading winning at Sheffield Wednesday. The best we had was yourself. You predicted a draw, along with Bucks Royal and Ollie Allen in the prediction league going into tonight. I think only one man predicted a win, or 2 actually. One was Handbags Harris. He's usually one of the more negative people, and the other is Alan West. Yeah. A lot of us were thinking a thumping, but they've gone out and got this result. You look at results elsewhere tonight as well. Bristol City handing out a pounding to Huddersfield. But Reading,
you wouldn't have seen it coming.
Absolutely not. But we're up to 4th now, 5 points clear of 6th place, Sheffield Wednesday, and we've got another couple of points on Fulham as well. Overall 6 points clear of them now, although they do have that game in hand. Don't want to tempt fate, but we're on 67 points with 8 games to go. They usually say 75 to 77 is enough. Are we going to get over the line now? Can we start maybe taking those days off work?
Yeah, go on. Do it, everyone. Book your day off and go Wembley. No, but do you know what? With performances like this, you just think it's going to happen. You know, the way the season is going, the way it's all panning out, it just looks like it's going to happen, and nothing is going to stop this team from getting in the playoffs. You know, games like today where you just think, doubt it's going to happen, and they whack a 2-0 victory out of the bag. You know, without, you know, they had less possession today, which very rarely happens, but they've won 2-0. So I think, you know, you can be fairly confident they'll get in the playoffs. Otherwise, something drastically wrong has happened between now and the end of the season.
Yeah, he likes things, gives them the real confidence. It also lets them just relax that little bit for the Leeds game, because, you know, we were thinking, we'll probably get beat here tonight, and Fulham were going to win 2 games in a week. I know we spoke on the podcast earlier this week, and we're talking, you know, Fulham had won their 2 games this week, and Reading had lost. You know, it would be out of the playoff places. But now, Reading are potentially looking at a scenario. We go into the Leeds game, if by some miracle Fulham get beat at home by Wolves, Reading are looking at that 6-point cushion with 8 games to go, and that gives them that freedom to go at Leeds a little bit more. Then again, if they win that, well, anything's possible.
Yeah.
The only slight negative I had on tonight's performance were a couple. Roy Beeran's quiet again, that sort of hot and cold performance, but the man who replaced him, Lewis Grabban, not doing a lot either. Some really exasperated comments from Tim Della, who's, you know, known to get on the back of a lone striker every now and then. Again, we spoke before the game about it. Are you at all worried about Grabban and his form?
Do you know? I just think he's in a really difficult place where he hasn't played much at all this season, and he's come to Reading expecting to play a lot more, which he is playing. He's getting minutes, but he's playing not in the position he's expecting to be played in. He's a striker. He's not an attacking midfielder or a winger or a wide whatever. He's a striker, and it doesn't look like he's playing that way. I don't know if he played as a striker tonight, but previously he's played off the wing or behind in midfield and
towards the left.
Yeah, that's not where he's playing. You can't bring a player like that in and then play him out of position and expect him to do well. That's, I don't know. It's like signing Messi and making him play in centre back and expecting him to do well.
I'm sure Lionel Messi could pull off centre back.
He probably could play a few passes, but the point is that Grabban isn't a winger. Grabban isn't a midfielder. He's a striker. And if you're not going to play him as a striker, then what can you really expect of him?
Yeah, nice to see John Swift get back in form as well. He's had that difficult time since coming back from injury. He got the assist tonight. Okay, Kermit did the most of the hard work, but even so, he's got to be in the right place. That midfield balance now, we've talked about it a lot. What is the best sort of combination? Do you think Stam's coming closer to figuring out what his best pairings are?
I think Stam's favourite is the one he played tonight. I think Vandenberg, Williams and Swift gives him that balance that he's looking for. It's got Vandenberg who sits deep and breaks play and gets a bit aggressive. You've got Williams who kind of runs, makes a nuisance of himself in midfield, and you've got Swift who gets forward, does the assist, scores a few goals, is the creative fulcrum of the team. And that's a really good balance. The difficulty for Sam is obviously Kelly is doing very well as well. You've got the likes of Much and Evans as well, who are all very good players, and he probably just wants to give everyone a fair crack of the whip, when actually at this stage of the season you just need to stick with what you like. At the moment, that's Vandenberg, Williams and Swift.
Absolutely. Let's get some more reaction then on social media. Breaks in massive win tonight by Reading FC. Another reason to raise a pint on St Patrick's Day. Absolutely fantastic. Can't disagree with that. And I liked this tweet as well from elsewhere saying, special kudos tonight to the 5,000 Reading FC fans who's dressed as blue seats tonight and sneaked in for free. Proper seats. That's one of our own doing that. I can't claim credit for that. I think I know who might have sent that tweet, but I can't say it was me. So whoever hijacked our Twitter account to do that deserves a nice round of applause. Right, let's just check. Any final thoughts before we wrap this up? No, does not look like it. I'll give it one more refresh. But Steve, you talked about the fact that go ahead and start planning for May. Is this at the start point now where you start looking at potential playoff opponents? Is there anyone in particular you'd like to get?
Well, if Sheffield Wednesday get there, that is much of a muchness, really. You would say you'd like to avoid Huddersfield because they do look dangerous, but they just lost 4-0 to Bristol City, so even they have off days. So it's playoffs are a cliche alert, cliche klaxon. They're a lottery. You're not going to predict it. So whoever's in there, it's just going to be whoever plays best on the day. And at the moment, Reading are playing in such a way where they can win on their day. Yeah. And even when it's not their, like today, they can still win.
I think the only team I'd like to avoid is Fulham. I still think, we've seen them twice this season, and they they absolutely smashed us up Craven Cottage, and probably should have come away with at least a point in the Badesky. If they make it in, they're going to have to go on a good run. So I'd probably like to avoid them, but it's looking like it might be Reading Leeds, which the old festival derby.
Juicy.
Absolutely right. Finally, Chris Horn says, you are as good win away. Tony Ellis saying, we could beat anyone on our day, lads. I think I'd agree with that. I don't think I've seen any team this year that Reading haven't at least competed with once. Second time around against Brighton, you might say, okay, we couldn't. But, teams like Newcastle, we've beaten Huddersfield, we've beaten Sheffield Wednesday, we've pushed Leeds close, dominated that game, we beat Fulham. So, yeah, get that confidence going. That about wraps up the post-game show. Thanks to everyone who's tuned in. Again, it's early doors on these sort of things. We'll hopefully get better as we do more of them. And tell us what you'd like to see. We'll do our very best to try and improve the show as we go on. Steve, I'm glad I've unmuted your mic after what happened earlier.
Yeah, which you accidentally did earlier.
Accidentally did earlier. Oh, sorry, it's camera. You can
Yeah.
see me doing that. Anyway, thank you very much for joining me. Have a great night and enjoy the weekend off because we can now sit back and relax for the rest of the weekend.
Yes. Yeah, will do.
Absolutely. Well, a couple more messages before we go. Again, lots of people have been contributing to our Patreon campaign at patreon.com/the Tilehurst End. If you like what we're doing here and you want to help this support the site and see it grow, you can hand over a little bit of cash over there. Whatever you can spare, whether it's £1 or a tenner or more, whatever. It all helps. Also, head over to thetilehurstend.com. We'll have lots of analysis and opinion on this game and all the latest news ahead of the next week, so you can head over to there for that. Also, quick plug of the Star Hall of Fame that is taking place on Thursday the 30th of March at the Medeski Stadium, and we will be there, the Tilehurst End, including myself. We'll have representation, so come along and say hello. It'd be nice to put some faces to names, and it'll be a really good night as well. I went to last year's event, some very deserving people going into that Reading Hall of Fame, and I know Star have put a lot of hard work into the event, so come on down. If you're a Star member, it's absolutely free. If you're not a Star member, you can get yourself on the guest list, and that is free as well. So head over to the Star website. We've also got an article up on the tilehurstend.com about that. But Steve, I will let you go now. And to everybody else watching, thank you very much. Enjoy your weekend. We'll be back with a podcast on Tuesday afternoon, so stay tuned to your podcast feeds and the Twitter for that. In the meantime, adios.
Ta-ra.